I spoke to Max Wolff. He's a market strategist for 55 Capital Partners. I talked to him about technological innovation in China and the strength of the country's app market.
Right, so I think the Chinese app environment, a little bit like the US, has an enormous range of quality, but we are seeing some leading edge things happening. So a WeChat or a Weibo are certainly on the sort of bleeding edge of making the best use of new utilities of both cloud computing and smartphones as they happen in real time. So there really is nothing beyond those apps. On the other hand, there are some products in the search space and a few other spaces where the Chinese market might lag some of the global competitors.
Max, when I was in Hangzhou back in September, it seemed like you could use your phone to do just about anything. There was apps, you could pay your bills, it was unbelievable. So what types of technology do you think is China leading in when it comes worldwide?
Yeah, so I think the Chinese are really at the cutting edge for all kinds of payment utilities and money transfer utilities. So as we get ready for a possible financial public offering in the near future, it strikes us that a lot of what's sort of the cutting edge and being experimentally done in the US and in Europe is already very much underway. Maybe in South Korea, definitely in China. So you can transfer small amounts of money, you can pool and share bills, you can do financial transactions, really sort of A to Z. Inside China through social and messaging apps in a way that really is not possible yet almost anywhere else, certainly not possible in the US.
And you had that catchphrase that everybody's talking about, global innovation. Innovation, as I mentioned at the G20, that seemed to be the catchword there, innovation. So what does the future hold for China in innovation, would you say?
Yeah, so look, I think we're going to see increased interest in moving higher end global activities to China. So we see this with Apple. I think we're going to see it with lots of other big software and hardware makers. The sort of counterfactual, the one thing to be really nervous about is that there's a rising protectionist wave, which sometimes goes really far on blaming the Chinese for various elements of globalization. And that is a basic global threat to innovation around the world, and China is not exempt from that. So we certainly hope that the sort of free trade and co-innovation environment that we've seen really erected in the last 10 years doesn't fall victim to some political machinations in the West. That being said, whether that happens or not, we expect China to continue to do more high-end, more intellectual, and more innovative work, and to really continue to emerge as a global center of online and digital innovation.
Well, you just mentioned that. I'll leave that as the last question. Do you sense a chill in the air with the new administration here in the United States, the Trump administration, with more of a protectionist type of approach when it comes to China?
So it's certainly early, and obviously the president-elect is still the president-elect until the 21st of January and deserves the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. The rhetoric and some of the cabinet nominations strongly suggest that, at least in the world of rhetoric, there's going to be a much harsher, less collaborative tone, and we can only hope that that's mostly rhetoric and not policy, but it would be foolhardy not to be somewhat nervous about the trajectory, at least of conversation, at this moment.